Hello, and welcome to my third live stream. I nearly canceled this at the last minute because I destroyed my last viable pair of reading glasses, but I found a workaround. I'm putting a pair of non-prescription glasses over my glasses, and I can actually read the screen. So I might look a little bit funky, but at least I can see what's going on. This is my third live stream, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube on my channel in the live area after we're done. So if you don't see it all, you can go back and pick up some parts of it. I'm going to waste a little bit of time here in the beginning just to let people come in. And I'm hoping that as you do come in, you ask questions if you have any. I do get questions privately and I get questions in the chat all the time, so I'm hoping to address some of those as well. I'm currently on Kea Island because I needed to bake before I go to Food Expo in about 10 days. I'm staying at a friend's here, and I'm glad to see there's plenty of light, and it seems like the internet connection is really good. So hopefully this is going to work out. It's, you never know with live. It's a weird one-sided conversation. So do let me know if it's not good, if it's slow, or if it's skipping. Just let me know, because there's no way for me to know that. We're paused at the building site for a few days, just until I can get myself organized in the baking, and also Marcos needed to do something for a couple days. The building site has been pretty chaotic. Hey, if you just came in, I'm wearing 2 pairs of glasses because I broke my glasses. The building site has, it's pretty chaotic. The last month, I'd say, it's reached a new level of chaos because we're doing the floors with slate. He's doing a beautiful job, Marcos, mosaicing them, but it is taking a while, and it's really not possible to live there while that's happening. So I've been staying at a friend's nearby the building site, and that's been such a godsend. But it's been really hard to keep up with YouTube on the quality that I'd like to keep it up. Making these videos takes many, many hours of editing, and I just haven't had a space to do that in for a while. I've kept up with it, but I thank you for your patience. I will hopefully be back living in my place a week from today, or a week from Monday at the very latest. It's still going to be kind of a similar camping situation, but at least I'm going to have a dedicated space for my office, and I'll be able to start getting back into proper editing of films. Hold on, because I cannot see unless I put these on. Hey, hello. Hi, Litman 78, and hello, Stamatis Sarodakis. That's nice. He says this is the best live company for afternoon coffee. It is. So I guess I should jump in and start talking about some things I said I was going to talk about. The main one I think a lot of people have been wondering about is what happened with the water leak. I was so upset about that several videos ago. That was in November, actually, when that water leak through the chimney got to the point where I had to leave and I didn't know what was wrong. It was something I've never heard of or never seen before. It turned out that it was actually the seam between the veranda and the wall above it. There was some damage when I had to have some of that wall taken down. If you haven't seen that part of my saga, it was about 2 summers ago. I had to take down about 60 centimeters, 50, 60. I'd gone too far in height and I hadn't realized. And I changed engineers and I got back on track. But one of the things I had to do to be okay with the building authorities was remove that height. Well, in removing that, I think the joints and the area between the veranda and the remaining wall above did, lose some integrity. So the water was running through there, and as water does, it found a way out. And anyway, we didn't do a huge excavation. What we did was we sealed up the veranda, and that solved the problem. And it's good enough for me because I'm not having any problem with smoke escaping in the wrong way. I guess if somebody else had this problem, they might feel the need to excavate the entire wall, but I don't. And the problem is solved simply by sealing the veranda. We haven't finished that yet. The veranda has all been leveled out in a way that the water also moves away from the building and down because that hadn't been done yet. And it remains to be tiled. I have the tiles there. You might have seen that in one of my videos loading that. And we're waiting for the weather to get a little bit better. It's currently 6 degrees here, which is freezing by Greek standards. That's 6 degrees Celsius is about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. But there's crazy, crazy ice cold wind. So it feels like, at least according to my weather app, -5, which is, like the mid 20s in Fahrenheit. It's cold. It's too cold to be doing cement work outside because it just won't set properly. So we're taking a few days break now, and then we'll be back to work, I think, on Wednesday. The floors are looking amazing, but I've been reluctant to show you them because I want to show the whole process. It is quite a process. And yeah, as far as the chimney is concerned, I think it's over. We do have one other leak. There were some small leaks, but those were solved. Very simple things. It's just because some of the ceiling hadn't been finished on the roof. And now there's one more, and that is the skylight, the beautiful 80 by 80 centimeter skylight over the small bathroom. And that is because that's my fault, 100%. I put the skylight too close to the wall. And when we have these torrential rainstorms in which we get centimeters of rain within hours, it's just the water's just not able to leave the veranda before raising so high that it leaks through. I guess that's what's happening. Anyway, what I've learned is that all problems are solvable. So there really is no major leaking problem now at this time. Hold on, because again, if you just got here, I've broken my glasses and I'm going to have to wear one pair on top of the other to see y'all. Yeah, so you're saying there are tiles with thermal insulation since underneath their living spaces. I've done a lot of insulation on this house. We did a lot of insulation all the way through. We've insulated the floors with 5 centimeter Dow, and we've insulated all of the ceilings. That house is extremely warm in the winter, and it's very cool in the summer. It's really, really well insulated because also the walls are so thick. So I'm super happy with that. Temperature wise, I am so much more comfortable than I thought I was going to be just with the wood burning stove. And the house is open all day long when the workers are coming in and out, and it still is staying relatively warm. So I'm very positive about that. And that's turned out like so many things in this house. And you'll probably hear me say that over and over in the next weeks. Everything is exceeding my expectations, which is an amazing thing to be able to say because my expectations are pretty high, but many things are exceeding them. They're just turning out really, really beautifully. Now, another thing that a lot of people have asked about, because I kind of dropped that midway because it just wasn't something I want to spend a lot of time talking about, and I won't here, but it's the skin mite problem. That was a nightmare, and that definitely slowed me down in December. Took 7 months to get proper diagnosis, and then when I did, it took nearly 2 months to eradicate a skin-eating parasite. Anyway, that's over. Thank God that's over. And I can just, put that behind me. What an experience. Anyway, the next subject that I think interests people and that deserves an update is what's going on with the power company. So if you've been watching my videos, you've probably seen this really crazy, precarious situation with the old electric meters. When I bought the house in January 2020, I went directly to the power company and had one of the 2 meters completely cut off. And then the other meter was, I maintained it, so I would have electricity to do the work. But there was an order put in to get a new meter removed from the inside of the house and put onto the outside of the house. January 2020. It is now February 2025. Somebody came out in 21. Of course, this is during COVID, so that's part of the problem. But anyway, somebody came out in 21, did an inspection on the column that we built for the new meter outside, signed off on it. I paid 770 euros, if I remember correctly. And then that was it. I never heard anything else. And it's really prevented us from finishing the project, for many parts of the project. It means that I'm living there with extension cords running throughout the entire house from just 2 plugs. The entire house has 2 plugs. It's a 2,000 square foot house. It's a 190 square meter house with 2 plugs, 2 sockets. So anyway, I think you might have seen a couple videos ago. I went to the power company and sort of, beat on the gate, and it seemed to have worked, because I did get a call about a week later. I got a call a week after, or within the week of talking about it on YouTube. I don't know if that's a coincidence. Anyway, a very nice, polite man came out last Sunday, a week ago, and he was just flabbergasted by the situation, because it is dangerous. It's very dangerous having these meters just hanging in the air with the high voltage wires. He was horrified. And it turns out that the next door house is also involved in a way, because, the old wiring goes through my house to that house. Anyway, he assured me that within the next days, he would send a crew out to deal with it. Nothing has happened. And I called that number that he called me on over and over and over. Every day I call about a dozen times. Nothing. Nobody answers. So I don't know. I just have to be patient. I don't know I know it's going to happen eventually. I just don't know when it's going to happen. Now, it took me 19 years to get a Greek passport. So I'm used to waiting. It took me, you just wait, and eventually these things happen. But there are many things that can't be done until they get that meter sorted out. I'm hoping to have hot water next week, and that's just going to have to use one of my 2 sockets. I don't know what else to say. If anybody knows anybody in the power company, apparently there's one team, scenario they call it in Greek, one team that is responsible for everything in Southeast Attiki, which is a large area. So we'll see. It's 5 years and waiting. Let's see. The other thing that is going to hold me up, well, it's not going to hold me up, but it's an obstacle, is the sewage system. And that is because there was no sewage system in this village. They have been waiting for decades. And just by sheer coincidence, they started it about the same time I started my house renovation in 2020. Apparently, it's completely finished, and I'm almost hooked up to it. There's about this much, literally this much length of pipe left to put in, as soon as we get the go-ahead from the city. But that's another thing that we're just waiting for from month to month. I'm just waiting to see what happens. I chose not to build a septic because I knew that the city sewage was actually happening. So in the meantime, there is no septic, which means I'm still using my chemical toilet, which, it's fine. But whatever. I'm looking forward to not using it. I can use I have running water in the house. I can use that, but sparingly. But that's it. Obviously, I can't use the toilets until the sewage is hooked up. I'm just going to put these on so I can see. I've broken my glasses, but I see some of you guys coming in. The procedure said that they, as the Greek power company is called, I've heard all kinds of conspiracy theories. One is that they're drying it into the ground so that they can sell it off really cheap. Something we've seen before with Ote in the 80s with the telephone company. So maybe that's it. I don't know. It's not even that big a deal what has to happen. I mean, we've done all the prep work. My electrician has done all the prep inside as well. Anyway, it will happen. And I think it's going to happen pretty soon. Oh yeah. So Isadora, my daughter, is asking me if the honeymoon period is over with the septic toilet, with the chemical toilet. Hey, there was the chemical toilet has been a godsend, I have to say. It has allowed me to get this far, but it's pretty. Yeah. Let's just say I have to interact with the toilet a lot more than I would rather. Emptying it and everything else is just a pain in the neck. Okay, so aside from those things, I think those are most of the loose ends I've had. Let me just refer to my notes because I don't want to miss anything. I think one thing that people would really like to hear about is also what is the future of my Acorn business. I've had quite a few people ask me about that. And I don't have a super clear answer about that. As I said, I'm on care right now for baking because the big food expo, which is the most important food exhibition in Greece, it's on 8, 9, and 10 March at the Airport Exhibition Center in Athens. So if you want to come over and try my acorn cookies, you can come over. It's for wholesale. It's not really something for it's for people in the business, let's put it that way. It's in order to match up producers with stores. I've done it for many years, and so that's what I'm getting prepped for here on Kea. Cookie business, it's really great. It's seasonal mostly. I have some wonderful clients all year round, but the chunk of my business is from Easter until October on Kea. My acorn cookies have sort of become part of the identity of the island, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm looking slowly but surely to retire. I'm not in a huge hurry, but I'm really hoping to find a young person or a group of people that would love to take this company over. So that's something that I'm just starting to explore and starting to talk to people on the island about. And hopefully, all of this hard work will be continued by somebody else in the future. So as I said, there's no panic. It's not something I have a really strict timeline on when I want to get out of it. But I have to start thinking about retiring. I'm 62 years old. And I have some disability. So yeah, it's eventually that's something I need to do. I'm really hoping to identify, some young people here on the island. I say young because it takes a lot of energy and probably more than one person to really take over the whole thing, the harvesting, the production, the marketing, everything. And I'll be super supportive in that and getting them up and running. So that's what's happening with the acorn cookie business. But like I said, there's no rush, there's no hurry, and there's no panic. Back to the house. What is coming up? Oh, so many things are coming up, and so many fun things and unexpected things. I've got a little bit of a surprise project going on right now, which I will reveal eventually, but it's something I just don't want to talk about until it's certain way finished. I have the floors, of course. Probably the next video will be the floors from almost to beginning to end. We haven't finished yet, and that's why I haven't been able to do it yet. And somebody's asking about the fence in the backyard. I have not done anything in the backyard yet. There's really nothing I can do in the backyard until I put surveillance cameras. And I have been very reluctant to put surveillance cameras because I don't want to live with surveillance cameras. I don't want them on me, and I don't want to be filming. I hate them. And one of the reasons I live outside of the urban center is a lack of surveillance. So I've been reluctant about that. I know I'm going to have to put them up, or at least temporarily, in order to get done what I need to get done in the back. But I have plenty of time for that, and I'm not in a rush. I really need to get the inside of the house finished first. As a matter of fact, I'm using what is going to be a back bedroom on the garden level bedroom. I'm actually using that as a workshop now for carpentry, or I'm beginning to use it. And it's working out really well. And it's funny because I never thought about that maybe rather than in the front, where I'm usually thinking of in terms of workshop, maybe it could be in the back, or maybe this is just a temporary thing. But for now, I'm not worrying about the garden at all. And there's plenty of time for that. Plenty of time. There's so many things that need to be done inside first. The floors are almost entirely laid, but they aren't grouted. And that will be happening. They will be finished at the end of next week and the beginning of the following week. So I will definitely be, probably the next video will be about those. The other big thing that it needs to be done is tiling. And I went back and forth a lot on tiling. Tiling is a very difficult subject, almost as, almost one of the most difficult ones. I love tile, but tile is very, it's dictated by fashion so much. I mean, we all know that. You go into a bathroom that was tiled in the 60s or 70s or 80s, you kind of know the era from the tile. And I've always wanted to avoid sort of dating anything that I do. So I like to use the really small mosaic tiles on the net backing. I just think they're timeless. I love the way they look. And I used those all throughout the guest house. And after going back and forth and so many different possibilities, and even thinking about those really big format tiles that are so fashionable right now, I went back to the mosaic tile on the net backing. And I also made the decision to do the bathrooms in the same tile, making life a lot easier. And just, I think it definitely is going to save some money as well, not to be buying two different kinds of tiles. So it is 40 square meters of tiles altogether that needs to be done. It sounds like a lot, but it is a lot. But I'm doing a lot of walls. I'm doing the entire shower from floor to ceiling. It's a lot. I've decided to do the tiling myself. I've done tiling with the mosaic tiles on net backing with tilers, side by side. I've done a little bit on my own, but I've never taken on a project this big on my own. I'm looking forward to it. I'm watching a lot of YouTubes to, find out all the tips. I'm collecting all the right tools because for me, that's the most important thing. If I have the right tools, I can do it. And I'll be starting that pretty soon. Because I'm doing it on my own, I'll be able to start tiling behind some of the areas where the plumber needs, like the bathroom furniture to be installed so that he can finish. So I won't have to finish the entire tile job before I can get the plumber back in to finish his job. Anyway, I just decided this week to take this on myself. I'm a little bit intimidated by it, but at the same time, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm also going to do something very unique and I think entirely original with grout. To be continued. I will not say it yet, but it's going to be amazing. I think I'm going to have to do some test patches, but I've come up with an idea with combining colors of grout that I literally have never seen anywhere, but I think it's going to work out really well. So that's coming up, the tiling. The other thing that's coming up are building barn doors. That's something I'll be doing on my own. So let me just catch up with what you guys are saying now that I have my double glasses on. Is there an update on your cookies being sold at the AP supermarket? Yeah, well, unfortunately, Alpha Vita they strung me along over and over and over. We want your cookies. We want your cookies. Come for a meeting. Bring us samples. The whole thing over and over and over, and nothing has ever happened. I'm a terrible salesperson. Terrible. I love production. I love marketing. I love graphics. I love, all the creative side of it, but I hate the sales part of it and I'm terrible at it. So that's the Alpha Vita deal. I don't think is ever going to happen. And let's see what we do. Get someone to do it. Trust me, it's not as simple as it appears. That's, I guess, about the tiling. I have experienced tiling. I really do. I have more than you'd expect and more than I even remembered. And so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not in a hurry. That's the good thing. I'm not going to rush, and I'd like to do it. I think it'll be fun. And Yeah, so that's yeah, Zach is saying you sound truly excited about it, so I feel like you got it. Exactly. Plus, you have to be methodical and you have to have the right tools. I find for me the 100% of the secret is to have the proper tools. Um, so the other thing that's coming up, yeah, is building barn doors, which should be pretty straightforward. Lighting, um, starting to really hone in on exactly what kind of lighting I'm going to be using. That's really, really important, but difficult since I don't have any way of really testing it yet with my two sockets. And then the other thing is um, finishing the sleeping loft. The photo for this, sorry, let me just yes, the photo for this live stream you can see is taken of me in the sleeping loft. We just have set the boards on top of the steel rafters, and we haven't yet screwed them down. But you can get an idea of how spacious it is. It's amazing, and it's really really toasty warm up there too. Now that it's winter, so it's going to be a very comfortable sleeping loft. But that needs a lot of work. That needs a lot of work. There are so many things to do. It's a little bit overwhelming, but I just have a list and go down the list one by one. Um, yeah, I broke my second pair of reading glasses. I destroyed them at the building site, but I found this nice workaround. My other glasses with a non-prescription over them. Looks a bit funky, but at least I can see. Tomorrow I have an appointment here on CAD to order some new glasses. So Valek says, have you contacted Thanopoulos supermarkets at Kifisia? Thanopoulos were pretty much the very first supermarket to identify the acorn cookies as being something that they wanted. I've been working with them for nearly a decade, and they are amazing. They really have a great selection, and they have a really good eye for things. They pick up things very early. They come to the food expo and they sort of scan around, and they're the ones that really know to get stuff. Thanopoulos, if you haven't shopped there in Athens, wow, it's something. So yeah, I'm not right now. I'm in a phase that I'm not pushing the cookie company too much because it has this wonderful seasonal, bubble every year on the island. Uh, yeah, I'm not spending too much energy pushing into supermarkets. We'll see what happens in the future. It's all very, yeah. Most of my energy has been spent these last years trying to get this house finished, and now that that is a reality, and it is actually going to be finished. I can probably start putting some more energy into thinking about exactly what the future is for the cookie company. What else can I tell you that needs to be updated? I said I'd be on for about a half an hour, and it has been about half an hour. If you have any questions that I haven't managed to answer, just put them up. But yeah, it's YouTube has been more than I expected it to be. It's been a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun, and it's been great to connect with people. And I really appreciate all the people that follow along on my journey with this house. I mean, it's been so much more support than I ever expected it would be. You guys have great ideas. I learn stuff all the time from you guys, and I appreciate it. I really do. I hope you keep coming back. I think it's going to get so much fun now. I mean, just being over all the really really heavy duty stuff and getting into the fun finishes. It's just, as I said, almost every day something now is exceeding my expectations, and that is just an amazing thing to be able to say. So, thanks so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate that as well. These lives are weird. This whole monologuing is kind of strange and unnatural, but okay. I just am looking at what you guys are saying. Any long-term YouTube plans? That's a good question. No, but I'm sticking with it. I love it. I really love it. I feel like my videos are getting better and better. As I said, the last few weeks, not so much because I haven't had a space to edit, but I love editing. I really do. I find it a lot of fun. Um, it's fun to see some improvement. I love stats. Oh my gosh, I love stats. I love working off of stats. And YouTube, in the back room of YouTube, where us creators are, we can see so much. We can't see specifics about you guys, but we can see generally the demographics and what's going on. And I love that. I love getting that kind of information and then trying to improve upon it. So that is my long-term plan with YouTube, is to stick with it. I hope to get to 10,000 subscribers in the next couple years, or sooner. Usually those compilation videos do really well on YouTube. And when I have the time and the space, that's exactly what I'll be doing, putting together some of these, bigger videos that have big stretches of time and show how far we've come. This has been an extraordinary project. It's been a lot more involved than I ever thought it would be. Of course, it sucked up so much more money than I ever thought it would. It always does. But I'm really pleased with the results. The other interesting thing that has come along as I'm building the house is that I've realized that I'd like to share it. I'm not sure what that means. It could mean doing some cooking seminars there. It could mean renting part of it out, long-term or short-term. But I know it's a space that definitely I want to share. Let me just see what's going on with my funky glasses situation. Yeah, Damien's Aquarium World is laughing about the monologue. It is weird. And yeah, thanks, Littman. Have a good week. And and Damien's Aquarium World is saying that I'll get to 2,000 sooner than I think. I sure hope so. It's so much fun. I like the challenge. It's also funny being a boomer YouTuber. Unfortunately, YouTube, the powers that be, the AI at YouTube, doesn't really serve me up to many people younger than 40, from what I can see, which is so ageist. But whatever. All of us old farts are still rocking, and maybe there are 10,000 of us old farts out there to pack this channel up. I don't know. We'll see. But it's funny. It's a funny space to be in at this age. I like it. I why not? I found an 80-year-old YouTuber the other day who was really rocking it. So I guess there are others out there. So I hear. Oh yeah. Okay. So hey, I will make sure I covered the things I thought I needed to cover, and yeah. Oh gosh, that's the other thing that's going to happen pretty soon, is I'm going to have to blow the whole house out with an air compressor. So I'm probably going to end up painting on my own as well. I'm not sure if I'll paint the entire house, but I am painting parts of it that are going to be finished earlier than other parts. I haven't been able to find reliable painters yet. And my beloved painter, who's here on CAD, just doesn't have the time to come over and help me. So that's another thing that's going to happen, is I'm going to have to sort of sand all the walls and then vacuum them and then blow them out with a compressor. But hey, that's not that exciting to talk about, so forget about that. I think I will leave this here. I've been on here for about 35 minutes now. I will get the next video out as soon as possible, since it looks like this is a very reliable internet connection that I'm on right now, and I'm going to be here the next few days. It'll be a good opportunity to get the floor video edited and out there for you guys. Please keep coming back. Please share, and I'll see you soon. Oops. Oh my goodness. Oh, and the next time I see you, I'll have new eyeglasses.